Get ready to meet the parents. You know, it's great when moms and dads are involved in their child's school, but we've all seen it, parents who might get a little too involved. Tonight, you're about to meet a mom and dad waging a sort of class warfare after class.
A lawyer mom who's late to pick up her 6-year-old trades words with a volunteer PTA president. As Chris Conley explains, that verbal squabble ignited a take-no-prisoners war that landed them all in court.
Irvine, California is the navel of Orange County, with the appeal of its tree-lined streets and quiet neighborhoods. But things would get a lot more exciting at the local police department around 1:15 p.m. one school day afternoon, as a call comes in. A call that sure sounds like the male voice of a fretful parent looking out for the welfare of his child.
Irvine Police.
Yes, hi. I was calling because my daughter's a student at Plaza Vista Elementary School. I was just had to go over to the school and saw a car driving very erratically. I'm concerned one of the parent volunteers there may be under the influence or using drugs.
Dispatched to the school's parking lot, Officer Charles Shaver finds a white PT Cruiser that matches the caller's description.
The caller said that he thought the driver put something behind the driver's seat in the pocket, so I went to the driver's side and looked in the window.
What were you able to see from the window?
There was a large bag of marijuana that was protruding out of the seat pocket behind the driver's seat. It was very clear.
Officer Shaver enters the school to speak with the car's driver, parent, PTA president, and school volunteer Kelli Peters.
So I started to panic. I started literally crying. Did something happen to my husband? And he said, sorry. He said, no, nothing happened to your husband. No, that's not why we're here.
With families filling the parking lot, the officer explains why he's there as he walks with Kelli to her car.
So when I got to the car, I used the key to unlock it and pulled out the marijuana and showed it to her.
What was her reaction?
Devastated, and she started crying hysterically and dropped down on her knees. Continued to search the car, and I also found a bag of Percocet and a bag of Vicodin.
And they put it out on top of the police car for everybody to see, which was really hard because I kept thinking, my daughter's getting out any minute, and I'm just thinking, the whole world is looking at this right now. And I said, please, they're not mine. I swear to you, they're not mine.
As soon as Kelli is brought inside for questioning, she passes a field sobriety test. For Officer Shaver, something's not adding up.
I was starting to form the opinion that, maybe she was telling me the truth. Maybe there was somebody that was trying to set her up.
Yeah, but everybody says that, right?
You arrest so many people that have drugs in their pockets, and they tell you, hey, these aren't my pants.
They wanted to know, if they thought, was there anybody that I knew that would do this to me? And I said, yes, oh my God.
She said, Jill Easter.
Bingo. 1 year earlier, attorney and mother Jill Easter arrived at the Plaza Vista school, late, Kelli says, to pick up her 6-year-old son from after-school activities, tennis lessons, which Kelli helped supervise. But the first grader wasn't in his usual pickup location. Jill Easter was plenty upset and blamed Kelli.
And I said, well, I am so sorry. I said he didn't line up fast enough. Maybe he just walked slow.
For Jill Easter, and later her husband Kent, who's an attorney as well, that word, slow, would activate a kind of bad parenting nuclear bomb that would exact a spectacular toll.
I believe Mrs. Peters said, you're being slow, like falling behind in line, and I think the Easters took it as their son was being mentally slow.
Jill Easter's words to Kelli grew increasingly heated.
I said, I'm done. This is crazy. And that made her very angry. She lost her mind over it. I turned my back, and she yelled, I will get you!
Using their legal acumen, these two lawyers launched a vitriolic campaign against Kelli Peters. Their letter to the school principal was also handed out to parents in the parking lot. It accused Kelli of purposely leaving their son unsupervised, blamed her for his anxiety attacks, and demanded that she be fired from her unpaid position.
They attempted to have me removed from the school, removed from any Irvine school, banished, completely banished.
After the school investigation backed Kelli 100%, Jill Easter stepped up her anti-Kelli animus in court.
What else did she and her husband do?
filed lawsuits against me, a restraining order. She told the judge that I tried to kill her, and that I was stalking her. I mean, they just went on to torture me for a really long time.
Which 1 year later brings us back to that day on the school parking lot, the day Kelli is questioned by police. That night, a sweep of her home shows zero evidence of the drugs found in her car. The investigation takes a new turn. Like, remember that call to the Irvine PD?
And saw a car driving very erratically.
The cops are able to trace the call to the business center at a Newport Beach hotel. Not exactly the place to spot erratic driving in Irvine, but whatever. And it gets better. Turns out there's security camera video of a man walking through the lobby. Guess who? It's Kent Easter.
So when the police were able to determine that the defendant's law firm was right next door, the pieces started to come together for them.
Kelly's civil attorney Rob Marcero also notes the class warfare on display.
They are both highly educated attorneys, went to top schools. They should know better. They believe they're above the law, that they can do anything to anyone.
Tests show the Easter's DNA is on the marijuana pipe found in Kelly's car. And cell phone tower pings seem to indicate their phones were near Kelly's home the night before the drugs were found. So Kent and Jill Easter are charged with tricking police into falsely apprehending Kelly. And that's when things really get weird, as in parents gone wild weird.
The case of an Irvine lawyer who's charged with planting in the car of a PTA volunteer.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Not so fast. Before going to trial, Jill cops a plea.
Jill Easter wanted to plead guilty and was willing to plead guilty.
Jill gets 120 days, but Kent decides to fight the charges. The DA goes to the video and to the audio of that call to police that started it all.
I'm concerned one of the parent volunteers there may be under the influence.
Which, if you listen on, features this Southern California lawyer suddenly swerving into a foreign accent as he uses an Indian name for an alias.
DJ.
And what's your last name?
Chandrasekhar.
And do you know this person's name?
I think her name is Kelly.
Kent's attorney paints him as Jill's hapless stooge.
An overly trusting husband trying to appease a difficult wife.
Entered into evidence, this email from Jill to Kent, a sort of honey-do list from hell. She has some legal assignments for Kent and wants them done in 24 hours. Exhausts the criminal code against Kelly and files suits against the school district, the school, and whomever else we possibly can tomorrow. Kent's lawyer has another goodie for the jury to help establish Kent as clueless and Jill as the master manipulator.
She wasn't tied in with her husband. She was having an outrageously over-the-top affair.
Yes, Jill's been having a 5-alarm affair with a fireman right under Kent's nose. His attorney scrolls through texts from Jill's lover. Poetry like, I want to squeeze your booty, and will you be my sex slave?
On Jill Easter's phone were some of the most graphic sexting messages that I've ever seen. But to me, it had no relevance to the trial.
Yet despite the defense airing all her dirty laundry, near the trial's end, there stands Jill herself, dressed to kill, to take the witness stand in her husband's defense. But wait a second, there's a last-minute problem. Jill is complaining that she's now deaf. As in, can't hear the judge. As in, it's gonna be real hard to testify. The jury needs less than an afternoon. Guilty. Kent Easter is sentenced to 180 days in jail. Kind-hearted Kelly is left to wonder just how she wound up as the most unlikely bee in the Easter's bun.
I asked myself that every single day. What did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this?
Is there an answer to that question?
I've never intentionally ever hurt anybody. There's just no reason that someone should do this to another person, ever.